at 6:03 p.m., due notice having been posted. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions may be made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. We will do a roll call of members present. Ms. Ferreira?
Present.
Mr. Gaw?
Present.
Mr. Medeiros?
Present.
Mr. Pasternak?
Present.
Ms. Giardini? And the chair is present. Also with us this evening, our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jeffrey Schoonover, our Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Raquel Pellerin, our Director of Curriculum, Ms. Elizabeth Haskell, our Recording Secretary, Ms. Robin Vaccaro, and in the audience, our Principal, Dr. Susan Brailsford. Okay, I'd ask if you're able to please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Please note that the next regularly scheduled meeting of this committee will be on Tuesday, June 16th, 2026 at 6 p.m. here in the Somerset Berkley Regional High School Library. The first item on the agenda this evening under Student Teaching and Learning is recognition of Somerset Berkley for AP School Honor Roll. And at this point, I'd invite Representative Thurber to come on down.
Is he here fine?
Sure.
All right, perfect. So I've been in this role a little over 16 months. I've been blessed to be able to go to a lot of things in the Somerset Berkley school system. And one of the best things we've had is a couple opportunities to recognize the good work that they do. We had North Elementary up at the State House to receive an award, and way back in January we found out that Somerset Berkley Regional High School was awarded an AP honor roll for silver status. So what we decided to do is we decided to get a citation. We tried planning it for a couple months, just the timing wasn't right, so we thought this might be a good night to do it. So I will read what the citation says for everybody. So the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the House of Representatives be hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to the Somerset Berkley Regional High School in recognition of being awarded silver status as part of the 2024-2025 AP School Honor Roll. This recognition is a testament to the successful implementation of advanced placement courses at SBRHS, which has helped students grow academically while preparing them for college success. This award would not have been possible without the tireless dedication of the SBRHS staff and student body. I know that SBRHS will continue to build on this great success and in the future. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Signed, Speaker of the House, Ronald Mariano, myself. I will just say this too, being a parent of 3 kids that went to this school, my final one's graduating. They did phenomenal. They all took the APs, they did phenomenal. So it's a testament. I think it's something that more people should know, right? I think sometimes people look at the school systems and they think they're not doing well, but like my kids did a wonderful job here, and I thank the teachers and the administration and the school committee for everything they've done. So I don't know who would like this.
I think it should go to Dr. Brailsford.
Yes. I look forward to bringing more of these. And again, like some of the other things we're working with Dr. Brailsford is to bring the top 10 student citations. What we really want to do is, promote athletes, but also promote student achievement too. So we've been working hard on that. They've been very wonderful to me. I'm getting into schools more, talking to classes and things like that, just to let them know what goes on at the State House. So Superintendent Schoonover's been excellent too, having a lot of discussions. Mr. Gar's been calling me a lot about all the funding issues, so we're working on that.
I appreciate that, Mr. Thurber.
I'm glad I can be open. If anyone wants to reach out to me anytime too, I'm always open. So thank you very much. I don't know if we can get a picture. And congratulations, everyone here. Everyone here deserves that. They really do. So these kids put a lot of time and effort into this, and I know the history program is the reason why we came here. So my daughter was in a private school, and we were looking to get her out, and someone said, "Hey, you need Mr. Petty. He'll get you ready for college." And thank God he didn't retire, because my youngest son, Cole, got to come here and have, and they're all doing extremely well. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We are in the middle of AP exams right now. Many of the students here are in the middle of AP exams right now. So it's a really good week to do this.
Needs more pictures, so it's okay. We'll get a photo break. I would just add it's appropriate because it's AP exam week 1, but it's also teacher appreciation week, and we are incredibly proud of our students, of course, but they would not be able to achieve at the levels they do without such amazing dedicated teachers. And AP courses are college level courses that help our students in so many ways. Teaching them is an extra level of preparation and expertise and commitment, and so thank you to the teachers for all they do to support our students. Okay. The next item on the agenda is a couple of items regarding the Health Occupational Students of America organization. The first item is for the committee to consider approval of the trip to the international competition, which students have earned. This will be in Indianapolis, Indiana, June 17th through the 20th. Ms. Littlefield, do you want to come?
Yeah, sure. So I guess my proposal first starts with asking permission to attend. I have some handouts, just a little updated information. Oh, it's good. That's all right. You know what's going on. So those of you who don't know me, my name is Ms. Littlefield. I am the co-advisor of the Health Occupational Students of America Club. We work with Ms. Bernison as well. Our students have worked very hard, and this is a health club that is dedicated to advancing their careers, but also allowing students the opportunity to compete in academic settings of careers that they want to pursue. So I'm actually going to turn to my students first and have them introduce themselves and also announce what they placed in what category they were competing in. Oh, I'll go with Grace first. Sorry. He's like, no, not me. Sorry, girl.
I'm Grace Reed. I competed in both pharmacy science and medical innovation. I placed first in pharmacy science and I was third in innovation.
My name is Elizabeth. I placed second in clinical nursing.
Hi, I'm Julie Murrow. I placed first in physical therapy.
Hi, my name is Lily Gomez. I placed third in medical intervention and surgical medicine. Hi, my name is Grace Schmidt, and I placed first in biotechnology. My name is Sarah Mel, and I placed first in the family medicine and career test.
Hi, my name is Madison Arbello, and Izzy placed first in the emotional well-being challenge.
And my name is Isabel Vincent, and I also placed first in the ATC career development testing. Hi, my name is Lynn Brown. I placed second in leadership ATC, and my name is Lana Trowbridge, who was third in ASM. My name is Lana Trowbridge, and I placed third in leadership ATC.
Hi, my name is Logan Cabral. I placed third in the health career display with my project in geriatrics.
Hi, my name is Abby Bishra, and I placed third in veterinary science.
Hi, my name is Lily Kelsey. I placed third in clinical laboratory science.
And I first want to start off and put on the record, thank you so much to my students because half of them are taking AP tests either today or tomorrow and so forth, but a lot of them are literally dropping from sports, coming to here, going back to sports and show choir, and today was a very busy day, so thank you so much for being here with me and a part of this process to support your future.
I think they deserve a round of applause.
Yes. As those of you who have probably seen me come up here year after year again, oh my gosh, she's back again, great, here's another presentation. As you can see, this is the biggest class that we've had qualified. The first year I was the advisor, we had 3 qualified. The second year I was the advisor, we had about 9 qualified. This year we actually had 20 with 18 that are actually going to be attending. So that is the largest number Somerset Berkley has had. It's also the largest number in the state. We're tied with Westboro with 20 students qualifying. So we have like a little competition going around state, but we almost got the top when we're tied. So a round of applause to them for that. They're representing So our first request is obviously to attend. We would national component, and we go straight to internationals. So we actually compete against people all around the world. Specifically, there's a lot of students that come in from China as well. So it's really cool for students to not only see people from across our country, but like internationally. And that's a really cool feat to compete with those students in a friendly manner. So our first request is to go. Our second request is to help support us going. As you can imagine, as a student, it is expensive as a trip, and that does create a barrier for a lot of our students. We have done our due diligence and we fundraised to date $8,000 for this trip. We actually have 3 more fundraisers that are coming up in the next 3 weeks. And our goal is to fundraise $12,000 total to support these students. So that way their individual cost becomes lower as possible. Currently, with all of our fundraising thus far, each student is paying a little over $1,000 for the trip. My goal today is to work with you so that way we can bring that total down to be just under $1,000. It's just a little bit more manageable for us, and it gives us the most important things we need. The first thing that we're requesting for, and hopefully your support in, is the actual national fees. So this year the national fees did go up a little bit. We have 18 students going, 2 chaperones at $160 each with some of the ATC testing, which is additional cost because it's additional materials. It totals out to be $3,200. Additionally, we're asking for support in the posted uniform, which is mandatory for us. And I'm actually going to turn it to Izzy and Maddie to actually just explain a little bit about what that is, because I know that that seems silly from somebody who maybe isn't from the HOSA world, but it really is important for us to have. And I'll let them keep going.
So as we recruit for ILCs in Indiana, I want to emphasize the importance of these HOSA-sponsored blazers. Wearing the blazers isn't just about looking sharp, it represents our commitment to professionalism. When we wear the blazers, we embody the values of leadership, responsibility, and respect. Moreover, this uniform gives us unity. It allows us to impress the judges while also showing them that we're taking this competition seriously. Investing in these blazers is like investing in our future. You guys will be able to help us create a change because you guys will be able to better help us present ourselves with confidence and pride and be able to help us in our future like health careers. So overall, without these, we could be told not to compete. We could lose awards that we win or lose points in our competition categories. So I really ask for your help for these because these aren't just clothing. It's to symbolize our aspirations and dedication to HOSA. And so thank you for your time and support.
And I did not want to say that. I said, hey, can you tell me why the HOSA blazers are important? And that's what they came up to. Like, crazy, right? Like, now you can see why they won. Like, so talented. But anyhow, continuing on what they said, the HOSA blazers are super important because they can actually turn us away from competitions and not let us into certain events. So allowing students to compete is my top priority, and being able to give them every opportunity to succeed is very important to me, and having these blazers that are the correct blazers is top notch. Additionally, what we do at Somerset is because these blazers are expensive, they actually stay within the club. So they're purchased for the club, they stay within the club, and we actually rent them out when we compete for states. So students will submit with them and return them back. And then same thing for ILC. So we have a larger number of students going this year, so we don't need as many blazers as we have asked before, but we do need a few more to make sure that everybody has a blazer that does fit properly. The next thing we're asking for is the HOSA pins, and before I ask about the HOSA pins, I do want to give a round of applause to Eva because she actually designed the pin and won the state trading pin for Massachusetts. So her pin design will actually be the pin that we bring to internationals, all of Massachusetts, regardless of what school you're from. You get to actually trade with a Somerset Berkley pin that she designed. So a round of applause for her first. And I know asking for pins seems silly and maybe a little confusing, but I'm actually going to turn it to Grace, Tweedy, and Julia to explain why these pins are important. And if you don't mind, can I borrow one of your layers to show them our solution? Oh, it's Grace's. Well, thanks, Julia and Grace.
So for me, I think the HOSA pins are actually one of the cornerstones of the HOSA ILC experience. I personally placed top 30 last year internationally in physical therapy, and I think these pins made the experience a lot easier and a lot less stressful. My going to take my actual big test that determined if I moved on to round 2 and I was top 30, I was so nervous in line going into that, and all of a sudden some girls came up to me, asked me to trade some pins, and that stress just kind of went away. Like, it connected me not only with my fellow host members, because we would like have little challenges, who could get the most pins or the most exotic pins. It connected me. I created so many friends because of it, and I think it made like being roomed with somebody. Like, I roomed with Grace, and I had actually never really talked to Grace much before that. And at that experience, us looking at what pins we had and trading them and like laying them out after the day, I connected so much with Grace, and now she is one of like a great friend of mine. I see her every day. I talk to her as much as I can because I love Grace. She's awesome. But I think it connected us so much as a hosted chapter, and not only a hosted chapter, but all of HOSA altogether. I met so many people that like it takes away the stress of meeting people because you have something to talk about. And not only that, but we meet medical professionals as well that we could talk to in the future. And like we form connections and network with so many different companies. I know Grace got a pin from Walgreens. She wants to be a pharmacist. So it's such like, I formed so many connections with medical professionals that I could talk to in the future. I want to be a physical therapist, and I remember going up to stands and talking to physical therapists, trading pins, and learning so much about the career that I want to pursue in the future.
I think also going off of what she's saying is, personally, I'm a very shy person. I find it hard to reach out to people and to make that first step of making a friendship and say, hi, I'm Grace, do you want to be friends? Or hi, do you want to trade pins? It's a lot easier saying, hi, do you want to trade pins? Because you have that thing to connect with them with. Not only are you in HOSA, so you have that in common, but you're just adding another layer to make those connections easier and make those connections more able to happen almost. And I've also traded with medical professionals, like Julie was saying. Not only getting pins from them, but also giving Massachusetts pins to those medical professionals. I traded with a Biorad company where I got a pin from them, and I also gave them a Massachusetts pin.
And they gave us 3 pipettes afterwards for free. They were so excited to have Massachusetts pin.
So it's not only getting other people's names in your vocabulary, but also putting your name out there into other people's vocabulary. Now people know, oh hey, I traded pin with someone from Massachusetts. Instead of just knowing Massachusetts for, they have good schools. Now you can say, I know Massachusetts because I met someone from Massachusetts. And the same thing goes for other states. You meet other people from other states, and you're knowing people as people and not just, oh, they're from that state. You're like, oh, I met them from HOSA. And it just creates that much more important bond that you would get if you just went up to someone and said, hey, I'm in HOSA, you're in HOSA. Now you can say, hi, I'm from Massachusetts, do you want to come? And that just makes that connection so much easier. So, thank you.
Well said. So that is our main goal, is we want students to be able to not only attend this conference financially, have permission to go, but we also want to make sure that they're making the most out of it, because we do have a tendency to do well on the international level. We have seen successes before, and I'm really hoping that this group does it again. So, with that being said, that is the total of our request. I did attach the quotes on the next page just to understand the breakdown, if there was any confusion in the request or what, where that money is going specifically. But if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you. All right, why don't we do this in pieces? So,
I know it's a lot. So
that's okay.
I bring the whole sandwich.
That's okay. So for part 1, I would entertain a motion to approve the trip to HOSA's international competition in Indianapolis, June 17th through 20th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Ferrer and seconded by Mr. Pasternak. Is there anything on discussion? You're
No.
good with chaperones and,
We have to.
okay. And Dr. Schoonover, no concerns? Great, okay. Anything? All right, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Okay, trip is approved. The next item is to consider the request for the funding. Does anyone have questions? I have a couple, but I want to let folks go first.
I'm assuming since we're looking for 5, that we have 15 blazers now?
Yes, yeah,
So this would just be
yes.
to round out time?
Correct.
Okay. That's one of my questions.
All right. Anyone else have questions?
I think it's great they're wearing blazers actually in Rhode Island Hospital where I work, or one of the places I go into. When you go in, you see the wall of fame there, and you can see they have blazers very similar to that from when the hospital, you've seen it, yeah?
Yeah.
When it first opened, that's great, so.
Yeah. As somebody who was in the medical professional world, like, anytime we went to a conference, I always went to Navy Dental personally, like, I had to wear a full-on blazer, you know, the whole 9 yards, and it was just so normal for us in the dental world, so it's really awesome to see that this club is adapting that, because when I competed way back when in 2015, 2016, it wasn't like that, and it felt chaotic, so I'm really excited that they're bringing that in, because it really trains them to attend a medical professional conference in their future years.
Great.
I have a couple of questions, just clarifying the financial part of that, which is what we need to do. So, the fees is $3,200, Blazers is $537.40, so that's $37.40 for the registration plus the Blazers. And then the pins would be an additional $600.
Yes.
And I just want to make sure I heard right. So far, you've already raised, is it 8,000?
Yeah, so to date, we've raised 8,000, our goal is to raise 12,000.
12.
And that will go for their flights, their hotel costs, the hotel in Indianapolis, oh my gosh, I have never seen such an expensive hotel room, that is crazy, that is just daylight robbery. But that will go to the hotel room, as well as the transportation to and from the conference center, parking, things like that, so that way things are covered for.
Okay.
Quick question, Madam Chair. You say you have a few more fundraisers coming up. Do you
Yes.
have dates for those, or when they're going to be?
So this weekend, currently, we're working with Miss Somerset. She's holding a Be Beautiful campaign photo shoot. It's a photographer coming in to take 3 professional images for $20. It's a 100% donation to our club. And that's from this Saturday from 1 to 4. Next week, from the 18th through the 22nd, we're doing HOSA Pie in the Face. So we, as HOSA members, all put our face on a can. And we're gonna, at the cafeteria, sit down during our lunches, the ones that we can actually have lunches for. And they're gonna donate money. The person who ends up getting the most money gets pied in the face at our car wash, which happens on Saturday the 23rd from 8:30 to 12:30.
At the high school?
At the high school, yeah.
That is right across the street. And then we're also selling chocolates. We just finished our Pop and Popcorn fundraiser. Did I miss any other fundraisers? What else? Oh, the chocolates. Yeah, we're selling the chocolates. We're really good at selling chocolates. This little girl's really good at eating chocolates.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the committee? I actually have a question for Ms. Pellerin. So I noticed included in our packet, you provided student activity funds balance.
Yes.
And I think this is audited, and it's as of the end of prior fiscal year? It says 25.
This is the balance that's carried forward into FY26, yes.
Okay. So right now, it looks like the HOSA balance is $34.32 and 45 cents.
Correct, so that money is being carried over in the student activity. It's what they began the year with in FY26.
Okay. Is that the current balance, or?
No, the balance is, this is the audited balance, and the fundraising is coming in, so it is whatever they fundraised for this fiscal year plus this $3,000.
Okay, so it's not less than the 34, it's gonna be the
It is
34
it is
plus the
more.
fundraising.
Yeah, and
Yes.
we also split that account in the Envirothon. I know as of next year, that's being switched over to have separate accounts, but me and Ms. D both co-advise this and Envirothon. And I think way back when the 2 clubs got started, they had a shared account, and it wasn't obviously like a huge issue until COSA got super duper big and has 106 active members, so we are working to separate those accounts. So, but some of that money, about 2,000 of that money is Envirothons, and that is separate.
Okay.
That's something me and Ms. D worked out, we keep track of, but we know that we need to split it moving forward.
So with, I know when we talk about student activities, we'll talk about the specifics and going forward, what we need to do. So with student activities, if a club ceases to exist, the money can then be apportioned to another club or a like club. but we can talk about that under the umbrella of student activity. But these funds are available for HOSA.
Okay. So my thoughts on this, and I don't want to be a buzzkill, but just in terms of treating clubs consistently, like DECA and other clubs, I know the committee has, for this club and others, paid registration fees, especially when students, and it's wonderful to see the growth of the club. I view Blazers as like a sports uniform to me, so I feel like that's consistent. I feel like I love the pins. For me personally, I feel like that's a little bit different. I know it's not a lot of money at this point, but when I look at, we have a balance, like we have to budget for these things, and we have a balance of $3,400. The request for fees in Blazers is a little over $3,700. That's a pretty small delta that I'm sure we can manage through a transfer somewhere else. But adding another 600 onto that, it's not so much the bottom line number that concerns me, it's more setting the precedent of what we support through the operating budget in terms of the clubs. That is my concern, and I think also moving forward as we have conversations about this, it is so impressive how the club has taken off. It's great. It's not even a good problem to have, because it's not a problem. But we need to make sure moving forward that it needs to be built into our plans so that we're not, trying to do things after the fact, I guess. Those are my concerns. I am in full support of the registration and the Blazers, because the Blazers stay with their school like a uniform does.
So, Madam Chair, are you opposing that the students pay the $30 each for the pins?
I would be more comfortable with that, because I think the $3,700 is a lot closer to the $34 that's in the student activities fee, and that's not an expense that we support for other similar clubs when they attend things like this. And I just want to make sure we're consistent and fair to all of the clubs. That's me, but I'm one person, so I would entertain a motion.
So I know last year, did we pay for the pins? I'm trying to remember. I know we had a discussion about the pins, but I can't remember.
It comes up every year.
Right?
It seems silly, right? Like it's just a token, but it really is a way for students to interact with people at this conference, and it gives them the confidence to do that. And that's why I'm such a absolute supporter of the pins. What happens is that students typically they can order up to 50 pins, so they have the opportunity to meet somebody or trade with somebody from every state, and that's the goal. And that's what you've sponsored in the past. We know with the abundance of students, we have a lot more this year, so I actually told the students that they're only going to get 30 this year. So I did cut that back, so that way, and students were using the 50, like we would run out and then they would be able to trade with China and Thailand, and and it just is what it is, because I don't have, I can't pull money out of everywhere, and as you can't either. So we did cut it back to 30, so they could be a little bit more, not like selective, but aware of the amount that they have, so that way it wasn't as expensive for you guys. So we did actually pull it back from last year, because we usually give them all 50 with the opportunity to meet 50 people. They're there for almost 5 to 6 days, so it's
And
pretty
now
quick.
these are going to be the pins that Eva designed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of feel like we have a little bit of a extenuating circumstance here. The pin is designed by a Somerset Berkley student, and I know the pins do mean a lot to the kids. And I certainly appreciate Ms. Andrews' point. We do need to be fiscally responsible. But is there possible we could find another $600
I
in
just
this?
want to note, as we go through the process, we went through the budgeting process. It's very, I think, as Ms. Andrews says, there's an equity piece. We need to be consistent. There's also, these items should be part of the budgeting process. We're now at the end of the fiscal year, which means we would have to adjust from another line item. So we're actually cutting something that was budgeted in order to add something that is unbudgeted. So we would have to look at the line items and bring back a budget adjustment, or look at the field trip line item, because it is technically an unbudgeted item right now. We can exhaust the student activity, but at that point, we would have to go into the general fund, and it's an unbudgeted expense. I also want to note that when we're going, whether it be through a student activity account or the general operational fund, we have to follow all the regulations that are afforded to you under all the laws, so
Madam Chair, may I ask a question?
that's what.
Ms. Pellerin, you paid for them in the past, right? So if we paid for this in the past, we didn't budget for it this year, this is my first regional meeting in 5 years, so if we could just,
I can say that as we get better at budgeting, as you saw this year with the region as well as Somerset, the budget is extremely detailed. All expenses are part of the budgeting process. So this is an unbudgeted expense. It could have been unbudgeted in the past. We would be following the same process now. We would be taking something where the line item may not have used something that was budgeted, and we're adjusting it and bringing in something that is unbudgeted. So in the future, I know we have 2 meetings set to discuss student activity with the content coordinators. This is something that we'll bring up, like what does a student activity account or fundraising support versus what should be put within the general operational budget, which would be your general registrations for all groups.
Comment?
Sorry.
No, don't be
So,
sorry.
I agree, we have done it in the past. It doesn't necessarily mean that we keep doing it, just because we've done it in the past. I agree that it should be in the operating budget, because we have done so much work to try to make sure that the budget is fiscally responsible. There are a lot of little cuts here and there that we've done to now say, now we're gonna cut something else to pay, which I'm not saying I don't support the kids with pins, that's not what I'm saying. But I do tend to agree with Mrs. Andrews. If it was budgeted for next year, I would have no problem with that. This year, with the way the budget is, unfortunately, I would feel better not including the pins this year. But that's me. It's my 2 cents.
Is there a motion?
So I would make a motion that the district provide funding for $3,737.40 for the national fees and the blazers, with the funds coming from the student activities account? Yes. Okay. Just making sure.
So there's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second our motion.
So we have a motion by Ms. Ferrer and a second by Mr. Pasternak. Is there anything further on discussion? Okay. Call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? I heard 3 ayes.
Aye, sorry.
yeah, aye.
Mr. Maderas, did you vote? I'm
I
sorry.
said aye, yeah,
Aye.
sorry.
Okay, motion carries. Okay. So we have a motion that is passed. So the amount approved by the committee is $37,3740. I would say, on a personal note, happy to make a donation and support fundraisers.
I would appreciate
So,
I'll also make another one this year.
Thank you, I appreciate that a lot, thank you.
so, all right. Then, don't leave yet, because
No,
there's more. Okay.
Getting out of the way.
The next item on the agenda is to recognize 2 of our students. Why don't you come on down here? Come here.
What's for you? It's your award.
What's that?
Just get to be a really cool person. They did all the work.
Should we start with, okay, you want to start with Grace?
Sure.
Okay, all right. Let's see. First. Okay, Grace Tweedy. Today, why don't you come on down and stand next to Miss Littlefield?
Yeah, you can stand and feel awkward next to me. No, I'm just kidding. Come over here.
Grace, today we have the honor of recognizing you for a pretty remarkable achievement related to HOSA. Grace has been elected to the State HOSA Executive Board. Congratulations. Grace, this year you took on a challenge that requires courage, dedication, and leadership, which is very evident to all of us. You applied for HOSA state leadership, interviewed with confidence, ran your campaign with passion, and earned your place by being elected to the HOSA state leadership team. You represent the very best of what it means to be a leader and a raider, someone who steps up, shows up, and earns the trust of your peers. Your commitment to HOSA in this school is truly inspiring, and we just want to congratulate you on this well-deserved honor. Congratulations. And do we want to let Mr.
Photo.
Yeah, we need a photo op.
Yeah, we can't escape. Would you want to get in it with us? Yeah, you're recognizing us. You get the credit.
Not really, I didn't do anything.
You give us money, that's important. We need that.
Great job. Not done yet.
I always joke, like, you guys would see my name on the list and be like, oh, she.
No, this is all, this is all good
Always a
stuff.
moment.
All
Always
good
a
stuff.
moment.
Okay, and we have another remarkable achievement. We would like to recognize Eva Espinal. Come on down. Yeah, all right. So, as you heard earlier in the presentation, Eva designed, crafted, and created a stunning Somerset Berkley pin to represent our community. You submitted your work to the Mass Pin Design Contest for ILC, and your talent was recognized, and you were selected as the winner. Your creativity and attention to detail shines through in every aspect of your design. You took an idea and you brought it to life in a way that obviously impressed the state and represents our school with pride. So this is an outstanding accomplishment, and we want to congratulate you for that.
Yeah, look.
George is busy tonight.
You ain't running away.
That makes sense.
Mess up your curls. I had to float.
I think her mom might want a better picture if she wants to come up here.
You can speak. She was trying to sneak.
Jen, you want to stand in the photo?
Congratulations.
Yeah, they're literally printing it this week. Okay. So Andrew, the state advisor, will send you a picture of what it looks like on the actual thing. So we'll see how many extra we can get. I don't, but I'd love to give you guys a cool. You represent us. So.
Thank you, everyone.
They're like nervous and they're like,
Could you just maybe email the committee with the details of the fundraising that you mentioned out loud, just
Yeah.
that so we can.
yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. Should I send it to Rob?
You can send it to Robin
Okay.
if you can forward it to all of us.
Perfect. Thanks, girl. I appreciate
It'd
it.
be great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That's a nice one, you don't want to lose it.
We stole Jeff's pen.
We did. Oh, I was trying to swipe it.
He came and got it back.
He has a tracker on, I think.
I forgot.
Can't fool him.
You're like, where did I put my pen? Sorry.
Okay. All right, the next item on the agenda is our student rep report. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, end of the year. You probably have some good stuff to tell us about.
Unfortunately, we don't have a lot because something that has become apparent to us is that our membership in the Student Advisory Committee is unfortunately dwindling at a very rapid amount. When I first joined, I was a freshman, and there was a handful of seniors, a good amount of juniors, and quite a few sophomores. And as I've gone through my career here at Somerset Berkley, so have they, and they've all begun to graduate. And unfortunately, we're not seeing enough new members to replenish the ones that we are losing as they graduate. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Schoonover, but we need at least 5 members?
Technically, yeah, we've actually had a larger committee than what is required by state law. It's supposed to be a committee of 5 students elected by the student body.
So, unfortunately, right now, the vast majority of the current student advisory committee is seniors, and next year we're going to have less than 5 people on our committee. So what we have been discussing, and what we discussed at our last meeting, was the idea of, instead of having it open to just the student body, it would be an elected position instead, where we would have each grade elect 1 member of their class to come sit in our meetings and represent their grade at our meetings. And Dr. Schoonover was the one who presented this idea to me originally, I believe, and like as well as administration. But I thought I didn't want to just like isolate it to an elected position, because I feel like sometimes with elected positions in student government forms, it can feel a little bit of a popularity contest, and I don't want to limit people who genuinely do want to help make a difference in the school. So I thought it would be a better idea if we had some sort of like hybrid mixed setting. So there would be elected people who would be like the main group. Those would be our main 5, myself and then 4 people from each grade. And then people who could sit in that who weren't elected could also come to our meetings and would also be able to voice their opinions. So what we've mainly been discussing is what our future is going to look like as a group and how we can possibly get our membership up. Also, unfortunately, after my notes, I am going to have to run because the music department is hosting Pops Night tonight, which I'm going to be in. So, yes, that's it.
Okay, all right, thank you. Does anyone have any questions? All right, good luck, thank you.
Have a good night,
Appreciate it.
All right.
Is there a citation for any of this?
No, she's a genius.
All right, thank you.
Yep, no problem. Okay. Was there anything to add?
I think so from our last meeting,
Yeah.
I was really,
I think that was pretty much what we talked about.
just trying to figure out how we can increase membership, and we had great student voice from that group for a few years, and as Isabella just said, we've seen participation dwindle a little bit. So we want to try to elevate that student voice. And that was really I think the bulk of our last meeting.
Yeah.
How do people join? Like, do they get elected or no?
Right now,
So
they're
how do they
just,
join?
It's
Anybody
really,
can
volunteer or?
we've tried to make it an open process.
Yep.
Really inviting anyone who's been elected by their peers from the student council to come in, and we've had a lot of participation from student council members, but we also have had it open to students who are not. We just want to get students there so they can share their ideas with Dr. Belsford and me and Mrs. Ferrera, so that we can hear what their concerns are and go back and try to implement some changes based on what the students are requesting. And over the years, we've actually added quite a few things, right? So we just need to try to elevate that one.
And are they required to have minimum 5 students? Or? Technically.
By the law, it's supposed to be 5.
And what are we looking at next year? She just barely has, they just barely have the minimum?
It all depends on then how the beginning of the school year would start and who has interest in participating.
How do they advertise it?
We do. They do. Yeah.
It also depends what's going on. It's after school on a Wednesday, the first Wednesday of the month, so some kids might have sports, some might have show, like, so there's, you can be working depending on the kid's age too, so there's a lot of variables, but one of the things we talked about was just having an elected person from each grade, but also leaving it open, so no one's, can't come if they have something that they can bring to us to discuss, so. Like the idea of letting it be still open so anybody can attend if they want to. So.
Madam Chair, through you. I just think anything to increase participation, looking at dwindling vote totals, particularly on the town side year after year, and the way the environment's been politically, the more the merrier. So it's awesome that you're doing whatever you can to increase it. Thank you for everything you do.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have recognition of our senior student rep, Adrian Borges, who couldn't be here with us this evening, but I'd like to, Ms. Ferrer, would you like to read his citation into the record?
Of course. At a meeting of the Somerset Berkley Regional School Committee on May 5th, 2026, a citation was prepared, signed by members of the committee, and voted inscribed in the permanent records. A citation of appreciation for Adrian Borges. In recognition of service as student representative to the Somerset Berkley Regional School Committee for the 2025-2026 school year, we extend our appreciation for your willingness to take on this important role. Your participation provided a student perspective to the committee's work and contributed to the ongoing dialogue between students and district leadership. Serving in this capacity reflects a commitment to civic engagement and to the school community. We thank you for your time and efforts over the past year and wish you continued success in your future endeavors.
Adrian's not here. So give him a round of applause.
Yes, absolutely.
And maybe Dr. Brailsford can see that Mr. Borges gets this.
We have a meeting tomorrow, actually. So.
Oh, perfect, okay. So just formally, I would entertain a motion to adopt the citation for Adrian Borges as read.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gah, and seconded by Mr. Maderas. Is there anything further on discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. Next item on the agenda is a citation for someone who is here. She's always here. Giselle, can you do two things at once? Can you film yourself getting an award? Of course she can.
Of course she can.
It's tough shoes to fill.
Right.
Let's see how I do. I just got thrown into the game here.
All right,
All
Mr.
right.
Gah.
Thank you, ma'am. At a meeting of the Somerset Berkley Regional School Committee on May 5th, 2026, a citation was prepared, signed by the members of the committee, and voted inscribed in the permanent records. Citation of appreciation, Giselle Pimentel, in recognition of your outstanding service as a videographer for the Somerset Berkley Regional School Committee. Through your dedication and attention to detail, you have played an essential role in ensuring that the school committee meetings remain accessible and transparent to the community. Your work has strengthened the communication and engagement across the district, making a meaningful difference for students, families, and staff. Beyond your technical contributions, your thoughtful and insightful input on student-related topics has been truly valued. Over the past 2 years, you have shown remarkable growth and maturity in your role, demonstrating increasing confidence, professionalism, and a deepened understanding of the work of the committee. With sincere appreciation and admiration for your contributions, we proudly recognize your service and extend our best wishes for your continued success in all your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Actually, hold on. I think Mr. Roscoe wants to take a picture, but could everybody get him to do it?
Sure.
Kim knows I like to do that. Carlton knows too.
Oops, sorry. As I walk into you.
No, that's okay.
Congratulations. It's all I have to go back. It's a little-
Thank you.
All don't you tell everyone where you are taking your skills next year?
Oh, I'm gonna go to Suffolk University.
Oh,
for-
congratulations.
Yeah, for investigative journalism.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Wish you well.
Tell them about your internship again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, my internship program. Yeah, I'm currently in the senior internship program working with Mr. Austin. I finished recording recently. I'm currently in the editing stage of my newest episode, which is on the topic of gambling. So, yeah.
Good
What
luck.
are you gonna do at Suffolk?
Oh, yeah, they have various internships, including ones with the Boston Globe and Boston NBC. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Giselle. I don't know if we can look good, but if we can, you make us look good, so we appreciate it.
Tough work for me.
As a formality, I would just entertain a motion to adopt this citation for Giselle Pimentel as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Madeira.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Gaw. Anything on discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. All right, Jill. All right, and back to work. All right, the next item on the agenda is to acknowledge and congratulate our April Visionaries of the Month. I will do my best with names. The committee would like to recognize Aiden Borden, Resilient, Wyatt Brisson, Academic, Jackson Fioli, Digital Citizen, Evan Garcia, Respectful, Madeline Garrity, Independent, Miles Medeiros, Academic, Hunter Neri, or Neary, Empathetic, and Selena Zhang, Independent. Congratulations to those students and thank you for being great raters. The next item on the agenda is public input. Do we have any public input at this time?
Hi, I'm Marianne Donato.
Do you mind just coming closer just so we can make sure we hear you?
I'm Marianne Donato. We would like to ask to use the track, use the high school track after hours.
Okay. Is there any specific concerns or?
Yes, most of the other area high schools do allow public use of the track after hours. We're looking for a safe place to run and work out, especially in the fall when it gets dark early, to have a space for that. And, I was a little confused because last winter I did come to use the track and did say online that it was open, but it's not available. So there's a number of runners in the area who have expressed some interest. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here tonight.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other public input? Okay. All right, thank you. The next item on the agenda, actually, is a citation for Ms. Solomon, who couldn't be here this evening because she is participating in the Berkley Budget Forum override and is sort of working at that. So,
Jen, didn't I see her name for re-election?
so yes, Ms. Solomon.
That's why I'm so confused. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I saw this and I was like,
Yes, Ms. Solomon is running for re-election to the Berkley K-8 school committee. I believe she's unopposed, so I don't know that, although the election is not until Saturday, I don't know that the outcome is at all uncertain. But however, she's expressed that with the building project, she's on the BCS building committee. So she's going to step off as a regional rep, and they will be appointing another member
okay.
who will be with us in June.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yes. She's doing a lot of things. So although she's not here, I'll read this into the record, and I will make sure she gets it. At a meeting of the Somerset Berkley Regional School Committee on May 5th, 2026, a citation was prepared, signed by members of the committee, and voted inscribed in the permanent records. Citation of appreciation and gratitude to Jeline Solomon. in recognition of your dedicated service as the Berkley School Committee representative to the Somerset Berkley Regional School Committee for the past 4 years. Throughout your tenure, you have brought a steady, thoughtful, and collaborative voice to the committee, consistently working in the best interest of students across the district. Your commitment to representing the perspectives of the Berkley community has strengthened communication and fostered meaningful collaboration within the regional school district. Your service reflects a deep dedication to public education and to the success and well-being of all students. The time, care, and leadership you've contributed over these 4 years are sincerely appreciated. With heartfelt thanks for your contributions and wishing you ongoing success in your future pursuits. Make sure that she gets that. Just for formality's sake, I would entertain a motion to adopt the citation for Jolene Solomon as presented. So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Ferrer and seconded by Mr. Pasternak. Anything on discussion? Hearing none. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
I'm sorry, I actually would like to recognize her serving on 2 school committees for 4 years, and Mr. Medeiros just took that on, and I did it for 1 year. That is a huge commitment, and I commend her for taking time away from her family and her personal life to do that. So thank you very much for her service, and I'm sure they're going to still appreciate her over at Berkley. Thank you.
Yes, no, thank you, Mr. Goff. Yeah, she will be busy with the building committee and trying to get an override passed, so she's definitely doing a lot for the community, so thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, so voted. Okay, next item on the agenda is an update on the memorandum of understanding with the Somerset School Committee for shared positions. You should have in your folder an MOU, which was prepared by Mr. Waugh. Just as some background, at the meeting on March 31st Regional School Committee meeting, this committee voted to support a change to the share of shared positions, to change it from 65-35% Somerset K-8 Regional School Committee to 60-40 to better represent and shifts in enrollment and workload. So that was voted on the 31st. In that time, we've also conferred with the chair of Somerset K-8, who's reviewed this. And so I spoke with Miss Ashley, who felt that she was fine with doing basically 2 separate votes. So she didn't feel we needed a joint meeting for this.
So if I could just comment on it, and not just trying to look at this as fair as possible. So before, Berkley was paying 35%.
Somerset Berkley.
Somerset Berkley,
Yep.
correct. And you have 2 members, correct?
So just to clarify, Mr. Goss, so the regional school, the region was paying 35% of the superintendent's salary, the shared positions that are shared with Somerset K-8. And
I understand, but you're taking out a bigger number, that was my point.
yes, the
So-
region is taking on a bigger number.
This is my first meeting back here in 5 years, but I'm starting as more of a burden's being shifted on Berkley, and I'm seeing 5 members on Somerset and 2 on Berkley. I think you're surprised I'm taking the stance, aren't you, right now? You're in complete shock. You didn't know where I was going with it. It's something, I'm not saying tonight, but maybe down the line that does need to be revisited as well if you're going to have 5 and 2. So I think it's not saying to do it, but I do think we need to have a discussion at some point.
I think and just on background, so I think that this comes out of a recognition that the original 65-35 split was 12 years ago at the formation of the region, and it was, the assumption, I guess, was that enrollment, regional enrollment versus Somerset K-8 enrollment would be a good proxy for workload. Is that right, Mr. Spoonover? Dr. Spoonover, sorry. And there was some concern from some members of the former chair of the K-8 in Somerset that that proxy wasn't maybe quite accurate, and that even though the enrollment was roughly 65-35, the workload was maybe a little bit shifted. And there's a lot of nuance in terms of individual positions and time of year. And so, but after discussion, it seemed that we did a little survey of sort of how folks are spending their time. And so I think the committee, the regional committee unanimously, including the Berkley members, felt that for this upcoming fiscal year and for FY28, just so we could plan and have some consistency, that 60-40 seemed a better representation overall of how the shared positions were truly spending their time. And then, of course, Berkeley's piece of that is only a portion of that based on the assessment formula. So I guess our position as a Berkeley person, I think Ms. Solomon feels the same, is that, fair is fair in terms of how folks are spending their time. This MOU lays out a process by which both committees create a working group to sort of do an ongoing analysis of how that is spent, time is spent, and then make recommendations for fiscal year 29 and beyond, whether we stay with the status quo or make adjustments. Obviously, enrollment is going to be changing in both districts. So that was sort of just on background, that's the rationale.
And I saw it on here, and I just felt I'd bring it up. So I do appreciate it.
Appreciate you looking out for Berkeley.
You're shocked, aren't you?
No, not shocked.
I was the last person in this room you thought would do that.
No, not shocked at all. And that's actually good for folks who are listening at home to sort of understand the rationale behind the change.
It's not that fair is fair sometimes, ma'am. So that's really where it's coming from. So, but anyways, moving on.
Madam Chair, I just want to put it, the committees on both sides did vote the 60-40.
Yeah.
That's
good.
That's where the MOU came up.
Yeah.
So just to put
So
that.
the MOU just sort of outlines that and the process moving forward, because with any agreement, one of the things we realized in this is that we didn't have any of this memorialized. It was conversations and handshakes, and so in the interest of trying to be clear about things, the MOU is a start for that. So with that being said, I would entertain a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding and to allow the chair to sign on behalf of the committee.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. Pasternak, seconded by Ms. Ferrer. Anything further on discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so voted. All right, and then we'll forward it to the K-8 for the same process. Okay, moving along. The next item on the agenda, Dr. Schoonover's updates.
Okay, thank you. Before I jump into the items that are listed, we do know that this spring in any school, but particularly high schools, is a time of recognition and awards for our students. I know Dr. Gosford has been busy organizing and attending numerous events. Mr. Austin, we should put him on the payroll here because he's always in the hallways. I just want to say congratulations to a few groups of students. So this past Sunday night, the Ocean State Star Awards were announced. We had our winners for lead actress. This was for the production of Chicago, the Teen Edition. Lead actress Lily Miss and Izzy Gomes. We had honorable mention for the Mary Riverses. And Robert Williams again received an award for outstanding lighting. And that's on top of, those were the winners. We had, I think it was 26 award categories in all. So congratulations to those students. And Lily Miss came away with a scholarship and another award. The Legacy, so she's the first Somerset Berkley student to receive the Legacy Robe for her history of her productions here at Somerset Berkley, not just her participation, but her recognition for the level of participation and talent that she has had over the years. So congratulations to Lily for that. Today in the Performing Arts Center, to kick off the day, we had the celebrating our future educators, so our seniors who will be attending college entering education. We had 9 students on the program, but 7 were participating. Some of them were involved in AP testing. So we recognize those 9 students today. We had some wonderful speakers. Dr. Brailsford had invited Lynn Sylvia, who is a 2nd grade teacher at North Elementary, retiring this year. She was our keynote speaker. But this event, it's a wonderful event every year. We started in 2019 as a way of recognizing our students entering college to become teachers. And we have a commitment signing format like a student would if they are participating in college athletics. And then it's also a way for us to recognize teachers who have been influential for those students as part of Teacher Appreciation Week. So each student invites a teacher who has been inspirational to them, and then they get to say, each student gets to speak why they want to become a teacher and also recognize this person who has meant so much to them. It's just an incredible event that happens each week, the first week in May each year. Last week, all these, the hosted students who were here tonight and probably 100 or so others participated in the gym for this, the STEAM fair. And just to listen to the work that our students have done this year and their incredible ideas. And when you see these these platforms and what they are thinking and the problems they're trying to solve, it is absolutely incredible. And it's mind-blowing that high school students are engaged at this level of work. So congratulations to all of those students who participated in that. We had the art gallery opening last week. If you haven't seen it, it's still set up in the gallery. And we have the AP testing, which started today. Dr. Brailsford, I know, what? Yesterday. And Dr. Brailsford is coordinating that for this year. So, congratulations to all the students for their well-deserved honors recently. All right, so jumping in, the first item I just wanted to try to quickly go over the Massachusetts proposed graduation requirements. This is still up in the air. We're not going to have a final report until June. But just to let you know where this is heading right now, there are some emerging models that are coming out of this. So these are several different pillars that will make up the new graduation requirements. As I've shared with you before, I'm one of the Mass Association School Superintendents members in this graduation think tank where we meet usually once or twice per month to review the ongoing work, provide feedback to the state, and then get feedback or get updates the following meeting. So with this, one of the first pillars that we expect to come out of this, and again, this is all, nothing has been determined yet, but we expect the state to adopt Mass Core as a graduation requirement. Mass Core as it is currently, right now it's an option, but it appears that that would be the requirement for all students. And the only area where we are currently not meeting Mass Core is requiring 2 years of a world language. There appear to be some exemptions to the world language component. Perhaps you're a CTE student and you just can't fit the 2 years of language in with your CTE requirements. Maybe some other exemptions along the way. A computer science class can always, and this exists now, computer science class can be substituted for a math or a science if it meets certain requirements. So that appears to be one part that elevates the content piece to be more in line with higher ed entry requirements for Massachusetts colleges and universities. The second component will be end-of-course assessments. These assessments will be in certain courses aligned with what has been tested in MCAS. So a math class, we don't know if it would be Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry, or more than one, at least one English class, at least one science class, and it looks like history would be one of the introductions to that as well. These exams would be administered and designed, administered, and scored by the state. There's a lot of debate about exactly how this would look, but that appears to be one of the other emerging components, strongly emerging components for this. The culminating project would be a component. It would either be a capstone or a portfolio. We think schools would have the choice to choose one or both of those. These would be some performance-based assessments. So the end of course exams would assess a student's content mastery. The culminating project would be able to assess their mastery of the skills that they've learned along the way. That would also, there would be a statewide rubric for which the schools would locally score those capstones and portfolios, but it would be using this statewide rubric. MyCap would have appears to have a significant expansion. Financial literacy would be a requirement for all students. We don't know how comprehensive financial literacy would be, but that would fall under the MyCap program. MyCap is the My Career and Academic Plan, which we are now starting in our middle schools. So kids will be creating this MyCap, which is all about college and career readiness and developing a plan beginning in 6th grade. But it would expand, as I said, in high school to include financial literacy. Also under MyCap would be this FAFSA or MASFA completion, which we're told would have an easy opt-out for families who do not wish to have the schools involved with that FAFSA part of the college application process. And there appears to also be a work-based learning component coming out of this as well, where all students would engage in some type of work-based learning experience. And whether or not that would be separate like our internships now that Dr. Brailsford has shared with us, or if it would be connected to the capstone, or we don't know exactly what that would look like and how flexible that would be for school districts. In addition to that, we keep asking, like, when is this going to go into effect? We want a long enough runway so that schools can adequately prepare their students and just get all the structures in place. It's not yet determined, but it appears we've been told that it wouldn't happen any sooner than our current 7th graders, potentially even longer than that. So this is not something that's going to happen to any of our existing high school students and not even our 8th graders, we assume. But that'll give time for schools to adequately prepare. Any questions on that one before I move on to the next item?
I just have a question or comment. So looking at all those potential proposed changes, I think about, and Dr. Brailsford, I think about, are there plans to put together a scheduling committee or work on that? Because I'm looking at this thinking a couple of things, that there may need to be changes to your master schedule. Also thinking about some programmatic things, like when I look at world language, I know currently we have Spanish and Portuguese at this point. I know ASL is now recognized as an option at the state level, and I don't know, conversations about like programmatic changes that might be required to meet certainly Mass Core, or to help our students maybe meet Mass Core in ways they haven't before. So I'm also thinking about that in terms of entering into negotiations in the not too distant future. And so I'm just wondering if we have sort of a plan for addressing what might need to be some substantive changes.
So at our April faculty meeting, we started talking about this. Faculty had compiled all the information. We basically did what we did with the strategic plan: what works, what doesn't work, and potential suggestions for the future. I'll be honest, it's a little frustrating that there's no concrete information from the state, because you're kind of building the plane while you fly, which it's a moving target. So we're trying the best we can, but with the negotiations coming up and all that, by the end of the year, we hope to have at least some ideas, and then even teachers are already excited about this, like we're already talking about reestablishing the scheduling committee and looking at what's going to work to make all of this work, because it's not just mass core, we're going to have work-based learning and early, I know early college is part F here, like there's a lot of parts here that we have to make sure fit in where we're going. We don't want to go back to the world of 6 or 7 years ago where there was a different schedule every year for 3 years. So we want to do something that's going to be sustainable.
I'm going to keep my thoughts to myself at the moment, but I find this interesting that there's an end of course assessments being proposed here, when I feel like we're just getting away from teaching to a test. The state's proposing bringing that back to some level, and to be honest, it's quite disappointing. There's some things I really like here, like work-based learning. I mean, I know there's going to be hardship on the faculty to maybe manage this, but I would hope, I know Mr. Thurber so nicely mentioned that I'm a regular calling him and Senator Rodericks and Rep. Haddad when she was on, and really anybody who will listen to me, advocating for the town of Somerset and our neighboring communities, because I don't think we get treated fair with Chapter 70 funding breakdown and state funding. So they're going to put these requirements on us. Who's going to pay for this? And it is a little, I know this is a moving target, and it is frustrating because you're all spending your time now trying to guess where this moving target's going to end, and it creates a lot of anxiety for our leadership here. So it is a little disappointing, but I guess I didn't stay quiet. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Anyone else? Okay, Dr. Schooner?
So the next item you have in your folder, the quarterly reports for the Southwest Educational Collaborative and Reads Collaborative for your review. We had really 2 new staffing assignments. One is a speech language pathologist at the high school. It's really a transfer. We had a vacancy that came up in the high school, and the ability to transfer someone from the pre-K 8 school district up to fill that role. And then we had one other position for a van driver. There were no resignations. And then kind of following up on the public input from earlier, I shared some information with you on access to the track. Last week, Dr. Belsford and I met with Officer Roberts, head custodian Sean Burge, and Mrs. Takudo, to really to look at and discuss access to the track by the members of the public, at least from now, say May 1st, through into early June when the track work will begin. So the track is open, it's accessible to members of the public from 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. For the month of May at least. And that allows us to get our sports teams, because of lacrosse and track and unified track, they're all using the turf field in the afternoons. Games typically end around 7 o'clock or so that the public would have access from 7:30 to 9. On Saturdays, same thing, we have lots of games and practices on the turf throughout the morning, and we would be able to open up the track from 1 to 3 in the afternoon on Saturdays, and then when our custodian leaves at 3, we would lock the gate up, we would remain locked until Monday evening. And we just don't have, it comes down to not having the supervision on a Sunday to keep that open. And as you know, in the past, we've had not only people coming out and practicing golf on our turf field, we've had people doing their exercises hanging from our goalposts, doing chin-ups and pull-ups and other things in the field which could easily destroy the turf. So it's not really access to the track, that's the issue, is access to the turf. You can't have one without the other. But we're hoping that these windows, Monday through Friday evenings and Saturday afternoons, would provide the public with some access. The track, as we'll be discussing shortly, is supposed to mobilize for the track resurfacing before school gets out. So I don't know what the availability will be in June. We will keep those hours I just mentioned as far into June as we can until we have to shut it down. But then there will be a period for beginning sometime in June, and I think at least through July, where no one has access to the track as we are doing the resurfacing project. And then I said we'll come back later on in the summer with a plan for the fall. And then the last item, I just wanted to share with you about the early college commitment form. Dr. Brelsford submitted an application or this commitment letter to the state a few weeks ago. So we're looking to build 2 programs, one with Bristol Community College and one with UMass Dartmouth. Bristol Community College, we're looking to have a liberal arts pathway, so for students who are looking to get some college credits out of the way. They're not really sure where they're going to head, but it's a great place to get some college credits out of the way. The other is, I think I'm excited about this other business and AI kind of thread, where we're excited to figure out what exactly the coursework would be with that, but for students who are interested in business, but then there'd be this AI aspect to it as well. So that's also with Bristol Community College. And to expand all the great work that's happening with our biomedical students, not just the students who are here tonight, but those 160 to 170 students who are currently participating, for them to earn some college credits. There would be a pre-med pathway through UMass Dartmouth. So I don't know when I think in June, I think is when we're expected to hear back whether or not whether or not we're accepted into that and what the next phase is, which would be an implementation phase. But up until this point, up until Governor Healy's announcement in January about greatly expanding the number of students in early college, Somerset Berkley has not been able to participate. We have not been able to submit an application because we haven't met the requirements that other school districts have had. So it's been more urban focused, and we've tried, but we have not been able to pursue that up until this point.
Dr. Schooner, just
Yes.
for folks who may not be as familiar with early college, could you just explain sort of the funding, how those programs are supported if the application is approved?
So the beauty of this is the courses, and Dr. Pastor, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's a $500 cost, but the state is responsible, or the state picks up part of the cost, and we pick up the $500, we pay for the $500, right? So there's really no cost to the students who are participating in it. And then will be some other funding that's available that we may be able to defray those costs for us as well, further.
And this is, if memory serves, in this upcoming budget, we have an allocation, but more for traditional dual enrollment,
Yes.
right? And I think it was was it 10,000? Am I remember? Wow, I don't know. I remember that. So, but that's more for traditional dual, to support students in traditional dual enrollment. This is a separate grant application essentially, and if approved, would
Yes.
significantly subsidize our students' ability to participate.
Correct.
Jen, how many credits can they earn while here?
In terms of in an
Yeah.
early college,
12?
It's a minimum of 12, there are
Okay.
some schools that go up to like in the 20s. So we haven't landed on anything yet because we're just starting the process of planning, but we will always do.
No.
I want to say the highest I've heard is 22, 24, so.
I didn't hear it mentioned, and I'm sorry to jump in, but BCC does have a very nice engineering lab. They have a couple of them. Is there any chance to get access to it for the students in any way?
I would have to ask.
Okay. Sorry.
This is a really restricted program.
Yep.
Like you commit to a group of classes.
Mhm.
It would be possible cost. I don't.
No, I understand. No, I personally have used it over the years. I took classes there. I went to both of those schools. I'm an alumni of both. So I know it's a phenomenal facility. I'd love to see our students get a chance to use it.
They're very committed to making sure that part of the early college experience is getting the students on their campuses.
Mhm.
So it's not about them just coming here. You have to create a plan to get the students on campus because they want them to feel college-like.
Excellent. Regarding the track, I know I've had a couple conversations with you on this, and particularly the soccer teams that come here. I do go by the high school regularly. I think it's pretty known. I jog around town. It is a little concerning. They've now moved to the front of the building, and they brought their own smaller soccer nets. So unfortunately, locking the track up is just move them to the front of our building. And there's still a big liability issue there. There's still soccer nets in the front of the building they can do their pull-ups on. So that is pretty concerning as far as, and I understand Mrs. Donato's point where it's safe to run around there. As somebody who has run from this building all the way to Dayton and back, sometimes it's not the safest thing in the world to do, particularly in the dark. And I'd hate to see somebody that would usually use the track trying to walk on Riverside and somebody guns it at a crosswalk because they don't want to wait. But something does need to be done about that, and I'm a big fan of exercise, but it's probably not the spot for it. And just to move your soccer games out front when you're showing up in full uniforms, that's clearly an organized league. This conversation's been going on since 5 years ago when I was on here. I don't know how we can address it. I don't know if we need to talk to the police department and they need a permit, but maybe we need to post the hours out there that the track is available so people see it. And we can post, if you want to rent this field for your organized soccer league, that's great. This is what the cost is if the public's not using it. But it is disappointing to see they're playing soccer games out there. Not only that, it's taking away from our students using the area if a coach decides to call a captain's practice on the weekend. So, I mean, what are the kids going to do? Go and tell a group of grown adults to stop playing on our field? So I don't know the answer. I know money's tight, but something does need to be done.
So to address that, Officer Roberts did indicate that he was going to have some additional signs created and posted along mostly that parking lot.
Mhm.
So once it is clearly posted, I believe we already have some signs, but if we have a few more, then we can, or if the Somerset Police Department is aware of this, they're going to work with us, they will issue a no trespass if they feel like someone isn't using the use of our property. But Officer Roberts is on top of that, and we will work with the police department to ensure that there is some supervision, oversight, I don't really say supervision of that, but eyes for those organized activities that people should be able to produce if they have rented the facilities. They should be able to produce a document showing, yes, here are the times that we have this. The Swansea Somerset Youth Soccer League at this time of the year, they have reserved the front fields and the turf field numerous times, and they are paying for the use of those fields. So that is totally legit, but these adult leagues, they are not. And we just need to make sure that they're doing it properly, and if not, then they really can't, because as you mentioned, it is a significant liability issue. If someone happens to get their ACL while they're out there or something, I mean, where does that liability fall on the regional school district? Which is why when people rent, we have record of it. They also have to produce evidence of insurance for those situations.
Signs will be here in June. They're ordered, they're coming, they'll be here sometime.
No, I just felt it had to be brought up because I do think it's disrespectful to the students here. And it is what it is. You know, you're a kid and say you do want to have a captain's practice, but you're going to go confront a group of grown adults. You got to look at it from their perspective too. It puts them in a very awkward spot.
And over the years too, we have had our custodians go out on a Saturday or a Sunday and ask a group to leave, and people have not been very respectful to our own employees, and it gets to the point where our people are intimidated to even go out there and ask because of some of the interactions that have taken place in the past. So that's the other concern as well.
I can imagine.
We've talked about this before. I just want to echo too, and I share Mr. Gau's concerns. And it's also not, frankly, it's not fair to the taxpayers. This, we have invested a lot of money in the turf, redoing the turf. We're about to, I think, vote to invest more in redoing the track. And as you said, moving from, so I hope people are very clear that unless, people wouldn't walk into the PAC and just say, I'm going to jam and have a concert on the stage, right? They wouldn't walk into the building without an appropriate facility rental process. And as much as the committee and through its policy is committed to being good partners with the community, that has its limits. And the limits are posted times and places for the public. And there's a process for, as Mr. Gott correctly pointed out, organizations to go through the appropriate process. It's absolutely a liability. It's frankly trespassing also. And we've been talking about this for so long. And it's frankly just, it's not right. First of all, there's safety issues for our students. That's always first and foremost. During, that's always primary. And then we have a responsibility to be stewards of the entire campus. And the campus is not just the interior of the building. And I think we've all worked really hard to do that responsibly in a financial way. And so I hope anybody who's listening, adult leagues you are not allowed to, you are not permitted to, and we will ask the administration and the Somerset Police to enforce the fact that that is trespassing. And it is not okay. And we're tired. It's just, it can't continue. It's not safe, it's not responsible, it's not right, it's frankly not legal. So,
It's just disappointing. You have to go to Swansea, that track's left open. They don't seem to have that problem. Maybe it's just where that field is. But I don't see anybody out there playing football. I wouldn't even think about trying to walk on the field at Gillette Stadium and using their field, or Alumni Stadium in Boston College. Just thinking of the two biggest football stadiums around here, I think it's a bizarre idea. Like, I'm just going to go use their football field and not expect to be confronted, and then to be disrespectful to our staff is an insult to the entire town, not just the school committee and the administration. It's an insult to every taxpayer. Are these people even town residents? They don't even want to identify themselves. So, and you're right, eventually somebody one day will get hurt and then we'll be liable. So something does need to be done. I don't have the straight answer, but I do think, I'm glad Officer Roberts has collaborated with the police department to do something, because it can't continue. It just can't. I believe Durfee's track's locked up.
Yes.
The one at Conley, used to be open, but that one was like a dirt track.
Yes.
So,
Tottenham's locked up.
yeah, Tottenham's locked up, yeah. So it's just disappointing that this has to happen. So I would love to leave that track open. And the track it exceeded its expected life, I believe, right? So the track that in the football field also exceeded its expected life. We did a good job maintaining it. But with that being said, we can't have organized leagues showing up here just taking advantage of us.
And there's school committee policy around this, and if folks are not going to follow the rules, then maybe the committee needs to revisit school committee policy. I mean, honestly, we maybe need to look at our policy. The good neighbors has to go in both directions. So, but we can't have actions occurring that jeopardize the campus. So, thank you for bringing that up, Mr.
Not to belabor this anymore, but Mr. Gall shared with me a story about someone who he had an interaction with, like a pro, a 70-foot pro.
From the Toronto Argonauts, yeah.
Who was using the field one day, and Mr. Gall asked him, just trying to figure out who he was, and this person came out from the greater Boston area, right?
I believe he was in Everett High School. If you know anything about Everett, they're one of the elite football high school programs in the state.
So it came down from Everett to Somerset Berkley because known that Somerset Berkley turf is available, is accessible, whereas most schools aren't.
Right.
They're not.
So,
But ours was available, so people are coming down from Boston to use our turf, just to have that experience.
so to his point, when a professional athlete is moving, it's noticeable. They just stick out. So I happened to be going by and I see this guy running and cutting. I was like, that's not normal. So I walked up to him and I said, there's no way you must be a professional athlete. And he said he was, and he showed me his gear from the Toronto Argonauts, and he was a wide receiver. And I started talking to him. I was like, where are you from? I never heard your name before. And he says, and he went to Everett. And I was like, well, what brought you down here? And he told me, and I was so confused that he actually drove an hour to come down here. But again, Case has their football field open all the time, but it's not turf. So that's why ours is attracting that. So, and anybody can use their track. It's just unfortunate we do have the turf, and now we have to protect everything. But maybe we do need to think about something with those soccer nets out front too. If they're doing chin-ups on them, we don't want those to get damaged. So maybe those need to be locked up as well. I'm good.
Thank you. Okay, did we get to the end of the superintendent's report? Sorry.
No, now I'm talking so much, I'm here.
No, it's okay. Okay. I just want to echo how excited I am about the early college application. This has been something we've been talking about for a while, and I am so excited. And I know it's a lot of work, and there's still a lot to be done to make it work within all of the constraints of a schedule, but I think it is very exciting for our students. It's a great way to complement. We started the meeting with the recognition for advanced placement, and this is another way that students can get access to college level courses. And there's a great equity piece here and an access piece here that's very exciting. So thank you for taking that on and making that available to our students. All right, let's move on. Next item on the agenda under financial matters. First item is to discuss the financial audit report for the year ending June 30th, 2025. Ms. Peller.
Continuing with the excitement, this is the audit. We have 4 major audits that we go through in a fiscal year. You have your annual audit, you have excess and deficiencies by Department of Revenue, you have your end of year report that is filed with DESE, and that's also an audit of the end of year report, and you have your OPEB or other post-employment benefit valuation. We also had 2 additional reviews or audits. We had one for school lunch, a procurement audit, and we have an upcoming fiscal review for IPA grants. We don't want to put all these audits on in one night and get way too excited, so we're going to talk about just the major ones today. So our annual audit, we are required to have an outside auditing firm perform it, and really it's just the fiscal health of the district. There is the full audit report if you choose to read it, or a memo that summarizes really where we are. With revenue and expense, you've seen it all the way through the fiscal year. Really, our major revenue sources coming in are from our assessments or state aid, and our expenditures, of course, we have a service organization with instruction, so our major expenditures were geared towards instruction. When we're looking at the core parts of the audit, you're looking at what is called fund balance in financial statements. It's really how you end the year with cash on hand. Getting down to just the grid in the memo, there are 4 major components of the audit. You have your general operational fund in the district that's reported on separately. That is your only unrestricted fund. And then you have 3 restricted categories. You have your circuit breaker, which is restricted for special education. You have your restricted capital stabilization, which is for specific projects. And then you have your other restricted funds, which is your OPEB fund, your grants, and all other funds. The real one to focus on is your general fund, that is your restricted fund, and that actually flows into when we talk about excess and deficiencies. We ended the year at 1.9 million. To break that down, we had 1.2 million, which is unreserved, and 700,000, which is part of the stabilization fund. So the stabilization fund, in essence, is a vote by the school committee to move money from your unreserved fund balance and moving it up to for a specific purpose. So then it is now in a stabilization fund. It could be for a specific, and usually is for a specific capital purchase, or it could be a stabilization for another restricted purpose at the discretion of the school committee. So I don't know if you have any questions on that piece of it. If you have any specific questions on the full audit report, you can reach out to me. It's a lot of fiscal jargon, but it really brings it down to what you have on hand to restrict to specific purposes at the end of the fiscal year.
Any questions from the committee?
No. Thank you.
If it's okay with the committee, I'd like to actually flip the order of the next two items. I think it makes sense. So first, I would like to take up the track resurfacing bid. So you have the information regarding the bid in your folder. So the item on the agenda is to consider and act on approval of the track resurfacing bid with funding from Capital Stabilization Fund. Does anyone have questions about the bid or where we
Just
are?
one quick, how many people bid on it?
We only received one bid.
Only one bid, really? Wow.
But I would say it was the one that we were hoping we would receive. Cape and Island is from everything I've heard, the superior company that does this work around here.
Yeah. Okay.
And kind of in line with what we had anticipated
It
based
is.
on last year's conversation about.
Right, when we, just as a reminder, when we went out for the turf project, we put in a bid alternate for the track, just to get an idea of what the cost would be, and they range from about 250 million to maybe 290 million or so, high 280s, I believe. So this 258 came in at of the 3 or so bids that came in last year. This came in at the lower end, lower than what we were expecting to be.
Thousand, not million.
Million, 258 million, 258,000.
Thousand, yes. I don't want people to
Thousand.
panic. It's not a $258 million track
Thousand.
resurfacing
I was just
project.
taking notes about circuit breaker there and writing 805 billion.
Are they giving a warranty on this?
I'm sorry?
Is there a warranty?
Is there a warranty?
Warranty?
There will be,
That's fine, you can send it to us later. I always get a little nervous. I remember when I was at UMass Dartmouth playing sports, the track was done there and it was rendered unusable for years because it wasn't done properly, and so was the football field. So that was my era when I was there. But they're a reputable company, and like you said, they've been around, so I'm not as concerned.
And Activitas as our project manager, they are also the best around, so I feel confident in both who's managing the project on our behalf and who the contractor is.
Okay, I'm good.
Clarification, now they're just gonna strip top of the track and resurface it?
Ms. Medeiros, I am not totally sure because this is a latex track.
Yep.
So the process is a little bit different. It was, at first, we were thinking it was just going to be a spray, but I think it's a little bit more involved in that. I don't believe they're stripping anything down. They are just putting another surface on, but how they apply it is a little bit different than some of the other track surfaces.
I'd assume you'd like redoing your floor, you'd have to
Yeah.
strip it first and get it level and
I just didn't know
then,
if there was like any
Yeah.
divots in that track and that they had to go back and
There
patch
are
it.
some spider cracking in areas, so they will have to address some of that before obviously putting the surface on.
yeah. When's it gonna happen? Maybe, it might be nice to stop in if we could.
They would mobilize sometime in June.
Okay.
At least just beginning to deliver some of the equipment, and as soon as school is out, the goal is for them to really do the bulk of the work then, so that there's ample time for them to finish the work, do project closeout before our students are returning for fall sports.
How long will it take?
About a month or so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. In that case, I would entertain a motion to award the bid for track resurfacing to Cape and Island Tennis and Track in the amount of $258,000 with an additional 6%, which is $15,900 for contingencies, and $30,100 for Activitas Inc. for design services and project management for a total of $304,000.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Ferrera and seconded by Mr. Maderas. Anything further on discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. And then next, the next item on the agenda is to discuss and act on a transfer of funds from excess and deficiency to capital stabilization fund. I would entertain a motion to transfer $304,000 from excess and deficiency to the capital stabilization fund.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Ms. Ferrera, seconded by Mr. Maderas. Anything on discussion?
Do we have any projects coming up for the capital stabilization fund?
That is
Not at this time.
No.
This is it
the
for now.
last
Yep.
big one that's planned.
Correct.
And just, we have formed a capital improvement subcommittee that's
Okay.
just had one or two meetings.
One, we're working on doing an assessment, so we can kind of figure out what needs to be done, and then in order of appointments, and then we'll move
Yeah.
from there.
I can imagine it's tough to get money in here with the region and everything, so it's great we can transfer, but I'm sure there's projects, the building's, 15 years old now? So things are gonna start creeping up and, very good.
So I have a motion and a second. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Next item on the agenda is continued discussion of the 26-27 budget. Do we have good news from the Senate today?
We do.
Great.
So I shared some information with you, given the house details. That came out, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks or so now. And unfortunately, House Ways and Means took the governor's proposal for Chapter 70 funding of $75 per student, and their proposal is $160 per student. The Senate released their budget this afternoon, or the Senate Ways and Means released their proposal this afternoon, and they are matching the House's recommendation of $160 per student. So if that were to happen, we would receive an extra about $76,000 in Chapter 70 funding from what our budget is currently based. So we have the governor's proposal of $66,900. House and Senate both suggesting $142,720 for us. As I said, it's a delta of $75,820. Regional transportation, the governor originally proposed about 92% reimbursement. The House is also at slightly above, but also at that 92% range. The Senate today is recommending a 90% reimbursement.
I'm sorry, did you say 90?
90.
90, so slightly less.
Yeah, slightly less, but still 90% is, what was it? For FY26, this.
Yeah, that was a significant
Yeah.
It's a lot more than we've gotten in the
So
past.
in the past, we were getting accustomed to 60-some-odd% from year to year. So 90%, 90, 92, this is very, very favorable for us. School meals reimbursement, in FY '26, it was at 180 million. The Senate today is proposing $180 million for that. The House Ways and Means and Governor both proposing 198, so we'll see where that compromise lands, but that is also favorable to continue with universal lunches. Circuit breaker, the Governor and the House were both slightly over $800 million. The Senate today, their total circuit breaker package is $852.6 million, so increasing by about $50 million over the House and the Governor. So that's, regardless of where that lands, that's also quite favorable, and that's about 20% greater than it is in FY '26. If there's more along the Senate lines, it's probably maybe 25% or so higher. So that's where we are right now with the state. I'm not sure if there's anything else you want to add.
We have a Mars webinar set for Thursday to review the specifics for the regional school districts, and we can report out, we'll send out an email at that point if we have any additional information.
Any questions? Maybe a sliver of good news. Those phone calls are helping, Bob.
They'll still come. It's nice, but it's been compounded over so many years of the unfair reimbursements that it's going to take a long time to make that up. So, but thank you. But it's on me.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, review student activity account balances.
This came from prior discussion about student activity. Not to go too far down the rabbit hole, but a few years back, GASB, which is Governmental Accounting Standard Board, adopted a new regulation, I think it's 84, and what that really entails is to revamp student activity funds. The test is if there is administrative involvement, so if an advisor oversees a group, it is no longer considered a student activity per se, it becomes a special revenue fund. The money doesn't really change, it's the way we account for it. It would be part of the financial statements, we'd be accounting for revenue and expense instead of just a lump sum amount. The majority of student activities that any school district has now becomes a special revenue fund. Really, the only ones that you would see that would stay true student activities, and what that means is we have very limited administrative involvement, and we're holding the fund in custodial for a group, would be your classes and student government. With those, they have a governing student board, and they vote on the expenditures and fundraising. They really have their oversight. Everything else becomes a special revenue fund. What that means is we will have several meetings with the content coordinators and really define how we're going to account for it, so it makes more sense to the advisors, but it also makes sense, and when we report out to the school committee, it'll be part of our special revenue funds. Clubs that have become inactive, usually what happens is the money then transfers to a main student activity account or a principal's account under the discretion of the principal. So we really want to take a look at these groups that we have. There may be groups that we don't have. As we've talked about before, there may be combination of groups in one fund. So we really want to define what those student activities are. And the plan is to bring it back to the school committee for a full vote, so you can see the true student activities we have at the high school, the balances that they're carrying, and a better way for us all to account for it. So this is a preliminary view of what the audited fund balances are, but we plan to bring that back with a more defined system that we will operate under. That may mean changes to student activity policies to match the new federal regulations. Massachusetts has also said it's recommended that we have an auditing of student activities every 3 years or so to make sure we're still aligning with federal regulations.
Thank you. Any questions? The next item on the agenda is to consider and act on the capital school lunch purchases.
So with the capital school lunch, so federal regulations say that when you're ending with fund, there's so many terms in Massachusetts. Federal is fund balance. On a municipal side, fund balance is called free cash in Massachusetts, and in a regional school district, it's called excess and deficiencies. In school lunch, it's still called a fund balance. The federal regulations state that you can only have 3 months of operating cost of the school lunch program to stay within a fund balance for operating expenditures. Anything that exceeds 3 months of operating expenditures has to be put back into the program. So the balance right now in school lunch that we ended with, the audited fund balance, is $471,000. So we have to get it down to 3 months of operating. Now, we don't have to do it all at once, but we do have to present a capital plan to the state to let them know on what we're spending the money on. The money can only be specific to the school lunch program. So Charles has come up with their first option of improving the program, and that is a total of $98,000 for things like new panini machine, better signage. They need new computer systems for the office, as well as a double-stacked oven. So those are the phase 1 of the capital plan to put back into the program.
So what was the last thing you said? I'm sorry, Madam Chair, through you, sorry. Was a double stack?
Yes, oven.
Is the one we have right now sufficient in there?
I'd have to really double check with Chartwell's to see their specifics on their recommendation with the oven. They say that the new oven provides us with the ability to cook several different kinds of products to specifications, all at the same time with the ability to eliminate carrying heavy pots and pot liquid, reducing the safety issues and giving them multitasking and being more efficient.
My question would be if it's something that could be recycled through one of the other districts rather than, or if it's going to be traded in.
It would be, because it would be going district to district, we just have to get permission from the state to surplus the items, because you're theoretically surplusing it to another district.
Yeah, I would hate to see anything go to waste.
No, I don't think there is a lot of restrictions about federal funds being used for any equipment. So there is a whole regulation on if you want to surplus it is, and the goal is to really reuse it. Most districts, when they surplus property, put it on a government website to surplus it to, neighboring communities. So I don't see that to be a problem at all.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
How long do you have to spend the money?
You can phase it in over several different years. You just have to present a plan and how you're going to utilize the money. Nobody says you want to use it all at once. I've seen a 3 to 5 year plan. The more you end with, it also has to be incorporated into that overall capital plan. What it does, it fits in nicely with the capital subcommittee, because this will be one component we will be bringing forward. We had briefly discussed that, and now you'll see, they're establishing a long-term plan with the funds, so that'll be a nice complement to the overall capital improvements in the school.
So do we have to spend any of this money tonight if we don't choose to, or?
You don't have, no, you do not have to. If you choose not to approve any of these purchases, we would work with Chartwell's, rework the plan, and bring back additional options.
I mean, to Mr. Pasternak's point, the computer system, the PO, what is it, a point of sale operating system?
I think it's really computers for the office.
But they're a contracted vendor, and we're going to pay for the computers. I mean, maybe I just don't understand, but I've been on both sides of that over the years.
There are contracted vendor, but any purchase we have with school lunch funds are property of the school district, anything. Chartwell's is just a vendor that operates our program, but they do not own any of the equipment. It's all school department property.
I guess I just don't understand the computer system they're buying, so.
And
I'd probably
this
know.
doesn't have to be approved tonight if you like. I have a meeting with them this week. We can come back with a more robust plan.
I would like a little more information on the point of sale system. And I'm just speaking for myself, but I'd just like to know what we're buying, that's all.
Madam Chair, through you, question, how much is the entire cost of all this? Can we have a breakdown per tier?
It's in your,
Oh.
it is in your folder. It's capital spending.
So if you look,
called-
the balance is
Yeah, that's right.
$471,531, and these tier one sort of proposals, the option altogether is $98,420.55. So less than a quarter of the fund balance is what's being proposed tonight. So I read this as computer for the manager office. I want smoothies and paninis. This sounds really good. My kids would be very excited. Too bad they're graduating. I'm comfortable with the recommendation from Chartwell's because it's a less than 25, my math isn't great off the top of my head, but I don't know, about 20% of the balance. I can see some of these things I think our students would probably like some of those options. We've had, I don't know, I feel like Chartwell's presentations in terms of trying to provide our students with really high quality food and lots of choice is, I don't know, I feel like they've established that. So considering if it were the whole amount, I would be a lot more concerned, but given that it's about 20% and it needs to get spent, I'm comfortable with that proposal, but it's the wishes of the committee.
So now, in order of importance, so is this saying that these 6 items here are like all number 1 priorities, or is this order of importance each and every one? Like, is the rational oven more important than the Envario tilt skillet, for example?
I think their plan was what
Or are
they
these
could,
all number 1 importance?
it's what they can phase in now. I think the plan is to get the smaller items that they can do within this fiscal year and going into the summer, and then really looking at a larger capital plan or any larger purchases. You're restricted on really what you can use. There's a whole listing of what you can order without DESI's approval. Anything, these are those small items that are on the list that they can approve. Anything higher or larger would require DESI's approval to make sure that it's consistent with the federal regulations and goes back into the program. Again, all purchases can only be school lunch specific. They can't be anything with the school. The way you look at it is if school lunch ceases to exist, what goes away with school lunch is what's considered school lunch specific expenditures. You can't do anything to the infrastructure because that's school department capital. So you really are restricted on really what you can do with these funds.
So I guess my concern is, like, you know, maybe there are some really big ticket items coming down the road, and do we need to spend all of this money right now? And if I'm looking at an order of importance going down, I'm looking at this tilt skillet that's about a little over a little less than a third of the money, and maybe that's not important right now, or maybe we can get that, you know, in the upcoming year. So, I mean, I would almost want to maybe approve everything on here with the exception of that tilt skillet, unless for some reason they would need that in conjunction with some of the other, like, do they need that in conjunction with the panini machines or the rational ovens, or are they stand alone? Because if it, and again, I don't know, you know, what they use in the kitchen, but I feel if we can spend the other $67,000 right now and hold off on that tilt skillet, I think I'd be more comfortable with that without knowing what we have down the road. I mean, if we're gonna have a capital subcommittee, that's gonna be planning and assessing things, maybe we wanna keep some of this money in reserve, you know, in case this plan identifies some things in the kitchen that need to be seriously upgraded.
Do you want to make that in the form of a motion, Mr. Pasternak?
Oh, yeah, I would. I would like to move to adopt this option plan with the exception of the Invario tilt skillet in the amount of approximately $67,000 or $66,997, and it looks like 47 cents to
Just doing the math.
I was gonna say, I got my calculator open.
I think I got it.
You got it, 47 cents. So moved.
So we have a motion by Mr. Pasternak, seconded, you made the
Yeah,
motion,
motion,
so is that a second, Mr.
Yep,
Goff?
Second, yep.
To approve the capital spend plan, I just want to reiterate the number for folks, in the amount of $66,997.47, which includes all of the proposed items with the exception of the Invario tilt skillet. We have a motion and a second. Is there anything further on discussion?
I'm not gonna hold it up over the small number for the computers. It's insignificant on there.
Do the prices include installation? Do we know that?
I do not know that. I can reach out to Chartwell's, get more specifics. I would think it would, but I can clarify that.
Thank
Again,
you.
we can bring back any additional information at the next meeting and have a subsequent vote.
Okay, good question. All right. So we have a motion and second. So on vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted? And yeah, I think moving forward, it makes all kinds of sense for Chartwell's to maybe meet with the capital
I think that's very good.
subcommittee.
Excellent
and
idea,
Go from there. Great, thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda, other matters, under other matters and informational, we have Berkley and Somerset updates. Ms. Solomon is not here because she is attending, helping to run a public forum on Berkeley override. So all I know is it's the hot topic in Berkeley. Everyone's being entirely civilized about it, not contentious at all. The vote for the override, I just want to make sure I get my facts straight, is this Saturday, May 9th, from 10 to 6, the Berkeley Middle School, and depending on the results of that, we will have further discussion. That's all I know for Berkeley. Somerset K-8, anything relevant to the high school? Any update on?
I don't know. I've only been to one meeting.
It's okay. It's okay if it's
Actually,
not.
That's a no, it's okay.
They just had a play at the middle school, Beauty and the Beast. It went quite well. I went to it 3 times. The new lighting at the middle school was phenomenal. Sorry.
That's
I
okay,
just
no.
happened to know that. I just figured I'd make a point because the kids did do a phenomenal job. If anybody had a chance to see it, it was an excellent play. That's it. That's all I got, at least.
Great, thank you. Next item on the agenda, topics not anticipated by the chair. I have none. Next item on the agenda, action items for future meetings. Anything in addition to what we have discussed this
I
evening?
did have one, and I've spoken to Mr. Schoonover about it, and actually Mr. Maderas on Election Day, about the Innovation Career Pathways Program, and I know Dr. Brailsford's kind of touched on this a bit, but Mr. Schoonover did mention some grants that might be out there to maybe help with bringing in some different trades, different things to the high school, so I know it wouldn't be a complete covering of it, but I think it's a creative way to try to add some different things for the students, particularly those who didn't get into the trade schools this year. I know there was quite a few disappointed parents because I got the phone calls, and I think, what was it, 37 got in and 88 applied? Is my math right on that?
36 are accepted each year to dining.
And there was 88 that applied?
Yeah, it's about average.
So-
Yeah, it's a typical number.
And some of the work Miss Littlefield was doing earlier, the healthcare industry is struggling to find workers, and that's awesome, that everything she's doing. But anything else we can do to offer jobs that might be AI safe is very greatly appreciated by our students coming in. And I know Mr. Medeiros, I was very happy to see he got appointed because he's got quite a bit of experience from the trade schools, and I'm sure he can give us a few pointers with applying for grants from his time in Turfey, I guess now New Bedford Boat.
Yes.
Very good, thank you. I'll just, for informational purposes for the committee, I think I shared with you, at our next meeting, we will reorganize and we will have a full representation of the new committee. Prior to that, I shared with you the descriptions of the subcommittees, and we'll share, in the past, we've put out a Google form that sort of, you can indicate sort of your interest for subcommittees. So we'll do that prior to the next meeting so that when we do meet, we'll have, so if you can respond to that prior to the next meeting, just as a heads up, so we can make sure our subcommittees are established and staffed. I think that's all I have. Do you have anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, great. All right, next item on the agenda is to consider approval of the open session minutes of April 7th, 2026. I'll do that in the form of a motion to approve the open session minutes of April 7th, 2026 as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Ferrera, seconded by Mr. Pasternak. Anything on discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Next, I would entertain a motion to approve the executive session minutes of April 7th, 2026 as presented, and to release them with the indicated redactions. So moved. Motion by Ms. Ferrera. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Pasternak. Anything on discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will
Opposed?
abstain because I didn't participate in that. I did attend that meeting, the 7th, but executive session, I wasn't welcome.
Okay. 3. 4 in favor, 1 abstention. Good. All right. And next, I would entertain a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares. American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Administrative Assistants, and Custodians. And please note that the committee will not return to open session. Do I have a motion? So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Ferrer, seconded by Mr. Pasternak on roll call. We'll take a vote. Mr. Pasternak?
Yes.
Ms. Ferrera?
Aye.
Mr. Gah?
Aye.
Mr. Medeiros?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you, everyone.